Welcome to Native Honor Hours. My name is Ed Zendejas, and my co-host, I think, parole officer came after again, Kenny?
I think they got her.
Not to do that. I've been trying to give her legal advice, and she just doesn't listen to me. But she's laid up right now. She had her second COVID shot, and she decided to get it on the day of the show, so she can have an excuse not to show up. But we wish Cindy the best. We're glad she got the shot, and hopefully she can climb out from. She hasn't seen sunlight in what, year and a half, Kenny? Maybe she'll be able to come outside now. But we have she. I'm really sorry she's not here today because we have a very special guest with us today, all the way from Alberta, Canada. We're going international, Kenny. We've got with us Mr. Don Burnstick. I was telling him before the show, I started following him. He does comedy, and I would check out his YouTube bits. And then when COVID hit, he did a live show, and it was up on Facebook. So I pressed the like button and I watched his show, and I've been following ever since on Facebook. And I saw he changed his Facebook. That I'm gonna take a shot and see if you'll come on our show. And sure enough, I just sent him a message thinking, what the heck? What can you do? Say no? And sure enough, he said, yeah, I'm happy to come on. So we're just really pleased and happy that we're able to have Mr. Don Burnstick on our show.
Well, I have to come on the show. I couldn't say no to you because you raised my kids, eh? So, I have to do that for you, eh? I owe you a favor. That's a real good thing, eh?
Yeah, it is. Well, like I said, we're happy you're here with us. I know I said you did comedy, and a lot of us think we're funny and think we can do all the res humor. But when you watch your show, it's more than just trying to say funny things, but it's all about, of course, timing, and then there's a physical aspect of it.
Yes,
a lot of physical things that add to your comedy. And so I was going to ask you, when did you start, thinking that you wanted to do this? What led you in this direction?
Well, I fell into it like most comedians. I fell into it by accident. And there's this big wellness gathering at a women's gathering, and there was 1,500 women in that audience. Most of them were natives, and they had a white comedian up there, and this guy was bombing. He was doing very well. So they pulled him off stage, and one of the organizers knew who I was. And I'm a speaker. I speak at workshops, presentations, right? Said, Don, I'm going to bring you up on stage. I need you to save this evening. And I said, I'm not a comedian. She said, just try it, please, bro. And she gave me tobacco. And I said, oh, you're tricky. She gave me tobacco. So I can't say no, right? So I walked up on stage. I had no show. Now, understand something. This is 25 years ago. That was about 40 pounds ago. I had a neck. I had a mullet.
I was going to say, I saw one of your videos. You had that. Yeah, I think we all had that one.
I had really tight jeans on. I had a potato stuffed in my pants. But the potato was in the back. But anyway, so I walked on stage, and I had no show. I just talked about pot bellies, flat bums, no necks. 10 minutes. All of a sudden, the woman and there was 1,500 women in the audience. They're doing this, and they're laughing. And I walked off stage, and they stood up and they gave me an encore. They're cheering for more. And I do know this: when a Native woman wants more, you better give her more, right? So I walked back. I walked back on stage. I did 10 more minutes. I walked off stage, another encore, 3 encores. And all of a sudden, after the show, they were asking me, hey, how do we book you? And I said, I'm not a comedian. I've never done this before. And they were all shocked. They said, yes, you got to do this. This is what you have to do. What you did up there is the best thing that happened the whole conference. That half hour, I've never laughed that hard in my life. And I didn't have any jokes. I just talked about, like hickeys and kids that smell like piss, and and Indian bodies and jealous men and really, really jealous women who will give you a hickey and stab you at the same time. That kind of stuff, eh? And they were just laughing and laughing. So that's how it started. And this is before YouTube, before the internet, before cell phones, before, and there was only a handful of us that were doing comedy at the time. There was the late great Charlie Hill. There was a couple here in Canada. There was Jula Kappa, and that was about it. And now I think there's about 300 native comedians in North America now that are doing their thing, you know, which is really cool. So it's really good to kind of blaze that trail for these guys.
What did you do after this? Did you start booking shows, or did you?
Well, all of a sudden I went home, and I was married at the time, and my ex-wife gave me that look, you know, like how does Omaha woman look at you? Or like,
no,
what'd you do?
Look.
What did you do last night? And I said, nothing. He said, I had 300 women call the house here. Why book you for a comedy show? You're some kind of comedian now? And I said, oh yeah. So that's how it started. Now, a couple things. Then what I did is I went back to the elders, because I live a very traditional life, right? You know, so I went back to the elders, and the elders said 2 things don't do. Don't swear on stage. And I said, oh, okay. You know, I don't get it, but okay. And a lot of comedians choose to swear, and that's up to them. And see, and then my elders said, there's so many other funnier ways to say the word F. That F word, there's funnier ways of saying it. You know, if you just make a look, you know, flick your eyebrows, you know, smile, use your hand, that says enough. That's how we talk, right? There's no need to swear on stage. And the gatherings I'm going to, the elders said, most of these people have been abused as young people, and they've been sworn at and yelled at when they were kids. So all of a sudden you got a comedian up on stage swearing at them. That could trigger them. So we really had some good discussions. So I agreed that I wasn't going to swear on stage. And for 25 years, I've never sworn on stage. And the other point that they asked me to do is not to do my shows where there's alcohol, where, you know, the bars, the lounges, you know, wherever alcohol is, don't do your shows there. And I asked why, and they said being a funny Indian in front of a bunch of drunken white people is not good, you know. And I said, okay, well, where do I go? They said, go to our communities, go to our events, go to our reservations, go to our gymnasiums. And that's where the real grassroots native comedy is taking place now, you know. And in our reservations, in the gymnasiums, and the community centers, there's all these comedians doing their thing. And that's what the whole thing is about. It's not so much being a comedian and making it on Hollywood Boulevard, being an ethnic comedian down there. That's the real native humor are the ones who go into our communities and really share what makes us laugh. Because our laughter is very, very different, eh? It's very different than mainstream laughter. Even Black laughter, their humor is very different than ours.
Yeah, one of my favorite bits you do is of Native women and their laughs.
Oh, you know, I went back to that gathering a few years ago, and there wasn't that many. There was probably about 800 women, and I'm doing my show, and these women were from all different tribes. So I'm doing my show, and they're laughing hard, and they were all doing the same thing. I would say something, and their heads would go back, and they'd all yell and scream, and all of a sudden I sat down there and I mimicked them. I basically did exactly what they were doing, and they were laughing. They were wiping their eyes. One woman fainted. I induced a pregnancy. It was nuts, all because I was just doing what they were doing. You know, the hitting, the grabbing, the laughing, the wiping the eyes. It was amazing. So I always kind of put that in my show, one of my greatest hits kind of thing, right? Because everybody asked for that bit.
I noticed after that I would watch Indian women when they laughed, and that's true. One of the
That's
things
right.
is when they go like this.
Yeah. They cover their mouth, and they always hit. Women always hit. That's why those of you who never got your COVID shot, one of the side effects is you get a sore arm for a couple of days. Like I got my COVID shot yesterday, so my arm is really sore. And what it feels like I sat beside a Native woman and I was teasing her, going, "Not even, is it?" And she's just hitting you, right? That's what it feels like. You've been punched. You've been punched about 5-6 times by in the arm.
I have to tell you, my co-host Cindy, I hope she's listening, because and Kenny will back me up on this. She always used to hit me. I'd say something and she that.
That's a Native thing, eh? That's a Native woman thing. She hits you. She hits you because she likes you, or she hits you because she really likes you. So I think
she hits me because I get on her nerves. I make her.
Yeah, a brother sister thing, right? You know, I sat beside my friend last night and she hit my arm a couple times. Oh my God, it was so sore in the morning. And that's where I got my shot, right? So, the vaccine rollout is happening. I really strongly encourage everybody to get vaccinated. I did. Up here, they've made Indigenous people priority, which is really cool. Because they have the frontline workers are getting vaccinated, and then the senior citizens in the senior homes, and then us guys, 50 and over, we're all getting vaccinated. And that's the leadership, because they say that Indigenous people are priority, which is really cool, because the COVID really affects you when you're all close together, right? And native homes, man, they're all over the place. Like they're like this, right? Like look what happened in Navajo Nation. They just got hammered because they're all living close together. So that's why they sent the vaccines out to native communities. So I got mine. So right now I'm 75%. In about 2 weeks, I'll be 96% immune to COVID. So I'm good. I can go about my snagging business.
We did a show about 3 weeks ago. Was it 3 weeks ago, Kenny, on the importance of the vaccine in Indian country? We had one of our pharmacy doctors that's a native that we did a show, and she did a great job. You're right. We've been encouraging, especially native people, to, because that's our primary audience, to get out and get vaccinated. So I'm glad you encourage that.
And this is the whole thing, especially with some of our elders, our seniors. There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's some fear about the vaccine, but understand something. We've been getting vaccinated for the flu. We got the polio, we got tuberculosis. We got the measles we've been getting vaccines our whole lives. So this is just another one in our life. And the thing is, when COVID hit, because we value our elders so much, we put them in their homes. We said, we'll get you the food. We'll take care of you guys. They assigned people just to take care of the elders. We took care of the elders for a year to keep them safe, keep people away from them and stuff like that, right? And now that the vaccines are out, we really need you guys to keep us safe now. Like vaccinate yourself, get vaccinated, take a shot. And yeah, some people it hits differently, but it's not going to kill you. It's not going to maim you. It's not going to permanently hurt you. It's just you might have a sore arm, might have some side effects a little bit, but that's it. After a couple of days, it's gone and you're back to normal again. And you're COVID free. Can you imagine that, going around, just going around, having your grandkids with you, going to a cultural event and everybody's vaccinated? See, because up here now, what they're talking about is the powwows. They're gonna make, because with my tribe, they give you a card, and it says that you have two doses of the vaccine. So anybody that goes into that powwow, they got to have a card. They're not letting anybody in those powwows without a vaccination card. That's new normal, That's
going to have your enrollment and your vaccine card, huh?
Yeah, and your per cap card,
My CARES money.
Yeah.
What's it called down here? Where's my CARES check at?
Especially those ones who make the money in Mount Pleasant and the Seminoles. I'll increase your per cap. I tell you what, I'll increase your per cap. So, but that's my spiel. Because I like in my social media, I have when I post a video, like thousands see it. So I want to make sure that I get the right information, right? I'm not going to be like Donald Trump, like drink some bleach, And some of his followers actually drank bleach. They went to hospital. They actually sick, Now I'm a recovering alcoholic. I know natives who drank Lysol. Okay, not bleach. We won't drink bleach. We'll just drink the Lysol. So anyway,
you mentioned before the show, we were talking about how you thought maybe everything would shut down, but you tell us you're pretty busy now then, huh?
Yeah, because one of the businesses, lots of businesses have taken a hit, right? And one of the biggest ones that have taken a hit is live entertainment, concerts, bands, everything. The whole entertainment business just stopped, And then you have to revamp itself. And what happened is, after COVID went on for about, they realized it was going to be here for a while. All these organizations, all these schools, all these communities and conferences, they said, well, let's do some virtual. And thank God for Zoom, because everybody has Zoom now. So I've been doing Zoom presentations on addictions. I've been doing Zoom comedy shows. I've been doing Zoom stuff, and it's and I've been really busy doing it. A lot of people are booking me. That one show I did, there was like 50,000 people watching. They broadcast me on TV in this town, and I guess everybody was watching. And half of them were white. Like you're good when white people watch you, right?
Well, if you want to send your information to Kenny, we'll be happy to link it up to our 10 viewers.
Just follow me on Facebook, because a lot of people ask me, do you Instagram, do you Snapchat, do you Twitter, do you TikTok? And I'm like, I don't do any of that stuff, man. Like, I have a life, right? I don't want to live with my phone in my hand. I have a life. All I have is my Facebook, and I use that really well. I have 100,000 followers. I'm always on there. I'm always posting videos. I'm always posting stuff, and I'm posting a lot of jokes and funny stuff as well to my fans. So that's what I use. I use my Facebook profile, my platform, to educate, entertain, heal, help, ease the fear and the stress, by telling some jokes, making people laugh,
Well, getting back to when you started, you said it started with just getting up on the stage. Did you do a lot of other shows before you felt comfortable in getting charging money for this?
I was already comfortable being in front of people for my presentations. I just had to take some really funny aspects, because for me as a comedian, like, I don't write my jokes. I don't have a notepad. I don't read my jokes. I don't have a script. I just check out my audience, get a little bit of information, and walk on stage and just go, because I really believe in my process. That happens. What I'm going to say, what I'm going to do is going to be funny, because sometimes with comedians that make a commitment to their script, that's between them and the book, has nothing to do with the audience. What you want to do is you get up on stage, you grab a microphone, and you look at the audience, and you got to have that connection. As if you don't have that connection, and you're reading jokes from a book for 15 minutes and they're not responding, you're done, right? So you want to get up there and connect with the audience right away. And after you connect them, after you pull them in, and then you do whatever you do. And I can do just about any audience. The toughest audience I ever had was a room full of lawyers. that was audience.
I didn't tell you what I do professionally, do I?
What are you?
I said I teach at the University of Nebraska, Omaha, but I'm also an attorney.
You're
actually a judge for my tribe too. So
I read my horoscope, and it said I'm going to meet a lawyer today. I that. I think it said lawyer.
Well, that's one good thing about COVID. You wear that face mask. People always say you can always tell, when a lawyer's lying, their lips are moving.
Yeah.
Because you got that mask on.
Yeah. Now you got it. Like, everybody has all these cool masks, right? The rule is social distance, mask, hand sanitize. And, for Indians, we don't social distance very well, right? So the best way to say, if I fart and you can smell it and you're wearing your mask, too close, right? Basically, that's native social distancing. A couple things about COVID. What happened with COVID is we all gained weight. Everybody gained weight, right? Like, I gained 20, 25 pounds. Like, I look like a tribal council member, but I'm gonna have to lose that. The other thing that happened with COVID, there's a lot of COVID babies, A lot of, especially on the reservations, a lot of babies being born. Because I tell you what, if you're gonna isolate with an Indian, somebody's having a baby, right? Like, if you're gonna isolate with me, man, you're gonna have a baby. So don't even mess with me. So that's what happened. So and what's interesting about COVID is that it didn't matter how rich you were, how famous you were, whatever. All of us have to stay the same. We all have to be the same, Everything stopped, and so which is really, really cool. When you look at it in the big picture, all of us we all have to stop, And then the air got cleaner, the water got cleaner. So things are good. The only thing is that we had you guys in the States, you guys had a crazy man as president for a while. That guy was nuts, man. Donald Trump was absolutely crazy. And I have dual citizenship. I used to live there. I'm like, man, that's part of my country, man. I can't believe that guy's the president. Like, that guy, he's not even white. Like, he's orange or brown or gold or something. And if you want to see Donald Trump's color, look at his ears or his hands. That pasty pink color, that's the color of his skin. Every day he paints himself that color. What I think is he's trying to be Indian. He's trying to be a native guy. I'm serious. Look at him. He's built like a tribal council member, like a tribal chairman. He's got that big, He doesn't pay tax. He hides his money. You know, he does whatever he wants. You know, he has 6 kids from 3 different women. He's got some chicks on the side. You know, he's got to pay off. He golfs whenever he wants. He's acting like a tribal chairman, for crying out loud. When he got in office, what does he do? He hires his children. Like only tribal chairmen do that. Only tribal council members do that. You know, they get in and they hire their kids. That's what Donald Trump did. He got in and he hired his kids. But I tell you,
and he's giving out per caps.
Yeah, he's giving out per caps. I tell you, that was really, I really felt bad when the COVID thing hit and how serious it was and how he downplayed it and just let it spread. I really felt, because other countries were really being proactive. You know, and now what's happening? You guys have new leadership, and I love that Congresswoman. What's her name again? She got in there. What's her name?
Deb Haaland.
Oh man, I just stood up and I was like, yes. I held my hand up. Yes, finally no, she's 8th in line to the presidency. She's 8th in line. If they take out 8 of those guys, she could be the president of the United States. Can you imagine that? Holy cow! The White House would have blankets all over the windows. You know, Indian cars all over the place, barbecue in front. You know, bunch of dogs running around everywhere. You know, that if she got to be that right away, because that's how I think, right? You know, if I see something out there, I will like immediately turn it native, right? You know, like remember 20 years ago they had all those rappers, you know, like Tupac, that guy, you know, Secure.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, you know, and the Indian one is Tupac 6-pack Insecure, you know, and then you have Notorious Bingo, you know, and then you got See Me Hammered, and you got
Notorious BIA.
Yeah, BIA. You got Queen No Teeth, you know. You got Sniff Doggy Poop, you know. You got that Canadian rap group, Run RCMP, you know. So, you know, and that's what I do is I just take things and I just kind of shift them to the point where we see. I like talking a lot about relationships, interpersonal relationships, you know. Like some tribes, like this is my whole thing, cousin.
I was going to ask you about that.
Some tribes think cousins are for practice, right? But we're not here to talk about Nebraska Indians, okay? But some, you know, the whole thing, you know, like how Latinos, carnal, SA, you know, and the black people, bro, and they give each other the N-word, you know, and all this kind of stuff. Us guys, it's cousin. Hey, cousin. Hey, cuz. How you doing, cousin? So that's how I did this whole thing. And what happens is a lot of comedians that rip off stuff, like, you know, and there's a white word for that. It's called plagiarism, you know, where they take your work, and as a lawyer, you know that, right? You know, and I had so many native comedians just take my stuff, and claim it as their own. My jokes, my material, my bits, my characters. So when I did the cousin thing, I got it copyrighted because some of them were trying to take it. So I got actually this word copyrighted. That's the only white thing I've ever done.
Oh, you've probably done more than that.
Well, yeah. I got a credit card. How's that? That's pretty white.
You got a credit card?
Yeah, that's pretty white,
You made it.
I got a car with 4 tires all the same size. That's cool, man.
Let me ask you this. Do you have a driver's license and insurance too?
I have one of them.
Okay.
I have to have one of them, right? You know, but I went because everybody's doing this. Like let's keep the community spirit up. Let's celebrate the workers, frontline workers. All those events are coming now because we're starting to open up a little bit. So I'm getting actually booked for these community events to have everybody that's vaccinated come together and celebrate it. You know, because it is a time. It was a black cloud that went over North America, the world. You know, so it's a time of reflection and celebration, and we really appreciate each other. Like I learned to slow down. I just really learned to appreciate my time. You know, I spent this last year really talking a lot about myself. Because you're alone lots, right? And so what happens if you have some issues like mental issues, mental illness, addiction issues, you know, whatever, that's going to pop up. So my issues really popped up when this COVID hit, you know, and you know what my big issues is? Snagging. I could not snag, and I was really hurt. Like I had a snagging blanket outside my house. I was waving it like this. You know, everything. I just couldn't snag.
The good thing about this is that those TV censors don't know what we're talking about.
We're talking about fishing, right? We're talking about fishing. Snagging a fish. But anyway, but that's, you know, so now that we're up here where I'm at, they're just starting to open up now. You know, everybody's wearing masks. We've been wearing masks for pretty well 8 months now. Everybody's social distances and stuff like that, you know, because it was so weird because they gave us all the same rules across the board. Eh? You know, you stay away from people, you stay home. You can't be around your family. You can't go be around your friends. You can't go spend your money. No barber, no shopping. You just stay home. And that remind me of when I was married, eh? You know, that's what my wife asked me to do, right? No family, no friends. You just stay home. You know, so anyway, I want to just drop those lines on you, you know.
Those are good ones. When do you anticipate you might be back in front of a live audience again?
Probably this summer. Right now, like my schedule's booked for the next 2-3 months, just doing live. You know, and like I'm turning away work because sometimes they're asking like for three live things like this, like Zoom things, 3 a day, and I'm not going to do that because by the third one, you know, I'm pretty well done, eh? You know, unless they give me some Viagra, then I can go again, right? You know, I can go for at least 4 hours. I can't go longer than 4 hours though, right? You know that, eh, bro? You know that, eh?
No, I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
You know, come on. We're healing, bro. Come on, tell me. Be honest to all the viewers. Come on.
I got kids watching, man.
You're addicted to the blue pill. Come on. We're healing, bro. Come on.
I'm going to invoke my Fifth Amendment privileges.
Oh, you're just like a politician, man. That's all. Yeah. So that it's crazy, this thing. And again, like I said, I asked my elders, well, how long do I do this for? How long do I travel to the communities and do this humor stuff? And they said to me, now my elders are in heaven now, like they're gone, right? They passed away. And they said, until people don't want to hear you no more. When you go into a place and there's nobody there, that's when it's time to stop. Okay, because now what's happening now is that I'm getting booked in these casinos, these big casinos and stuff like that, up here in Canada, which is really cool. Down in the States, they don't, you know, they book like these old timer acts, right? You know, like Bellamy Brothers and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I try to tell these guys that, you know, because up here, there's a casino. They booked me 11 times. We have an average of 2,000 people that come to the show. Now, what happens when they have other concerts like Bob Saget or, you know, or Jay Leno, after the show, it may be 2,000 people there. After the show, everybody leaves. All they see is red lights going out of the parking lot, right? After my show, because most of my audience is native, they visit, they go into the casino, they eat, they drink, they gamble, they have a smoke. An Indian's gonna walk in a casino with $80. They're gonna leave with $75 less, right? You know, they're only gonna have $5 in their pocket. So they like that they book me because that's when they make a lot of money in gaming, food, everything, right? So they book me lots. And I wish those American casinos would do that. They would book native acts because our people are the ones who really drop a lot of money, not those cheap white people that walk around and play penny machines. And those guys natives will go there and drop $500 in a half hour and they will leave, right? You know, and those are the ones you want to bring in and make some money. So I always tell that, but the ones that book the acts for the NIGA, you know, National Entertainment, these are white people. So they're going to book white acts, and it's so industrialized to actually, and you know, they every NIGA conference, they do this whole thing. Yeah, we're going to promote native acts. But sometimes some of the native acts they book aren't very good. Like if you're going to promote native acts, bring good ones in, bring really good ones in that'll bring people and bring the audience in, and they'll stay there. That's the whole thing about booking us, eh? And that drives me nuts about the Indian casinos. I used to talk a lot of this with Charlie Hill, eh? How they'll bring native entertainers in when they have a solidarity day or tribal day, you know, and then they'll have a big banquet and they'll give away all the free food and give away lots of the doggy bags to tribal members, and maybe have an entertainer get up there and entertain the people with 200 screaming kids running around. You know, that's not entertainment, right? Entertainment is having a big concert hall in a casino, having your clients coming there dressed up, having a good evening of food and everything, and having a really top-notch professional artist up there entertaining the people. That's what we want in these casinos, and they just don't get it. Since the history of NAGA, they just don't get it, you know. But I guess that's why they never booked me, because I'm critical of them, right? You know. But in Canada, we have a TV network up here that's native, and it's run the same thing. They just don't get native humor. It's run by a bunch of people who just don't get it, you know. So what can you say? The more I criticize, the more they turn on me, right? So it's, you know. So
you ever tried?
Hey,
you ever tried? You know, switching over? I mean, transitioning over to TV?
well, I did porn once, eh? I did a movie called 8 Seconds, Gone in 60. You know, that's when I was in that's when I was in Omaha, Nebraska. But anyway.
I walked into that, man.
No, but anyway, I don't have that discipline to be an actor. Because actor, you do the same scene, read the same lines 15, 20 times, and then they say cut. Then you go sit around for hours, and then they bring you out, you read the same lines over, and then they take the best line. That takes discipline, and I don't have that type of discipline. I wish I could sing. I'd be a rock star if I could sing. I don't sing.
Don't sing?
I don't sing. I wish I could be a bodybuilder, but I got to go to jail, you know, because the only time you see a muscle up native is when they get out of jail, right? You know, you go see the res, nobody's gone to jail. They're all big flappy guys, right? But see a muscle up native, how long you been in for, man? You know, that's yeah. But anyway, that's always kind of the interaction I have with the crowd. Eh? It's a lot of fun, you know. And the thing is, like, I want to mentor other comedians, you know, because there's some really good ones out there, eh? But you know, my standards of what I think works for our people is different than other people's standards, right? You know, and because I have these standards that I live by in my work, a lot of them don't agree with it, right? You know, about swearing, you know, because there's some funny native comedians out there, but they're just so dirty. They're so dirty, swearing lots, eh? You know, I went to an elders gathering, and they had a comedian up there before me, an opener, and there was elders there, and this comedian was swearing. You know, and the organizer said, "Can you please not swear?" And they kept swearing. See, because that's the only material they know. They don't know anything else, right? That's the only thing they know. So I had to salvage it, eh? You know, apologize to the elders for getting sworn at. But anyway, yeah, so it's interesting. And for me, I'm kind of a go with the flow guy, you know, and just be open to the opportunities.
I noticed from Facebook you like golfing a lot.
Yeah, I enjoy golfing because it's the only sport you could take a big stick and hit white balls all day. You don't get charged for assault or nothing, right? You just get up white. So I golf for my people. I hit that ball this is for my people. Yeah, I enjoy golf. I used to be pretty into sports. I'm not a very good athlete. I have the mind of an athlete, but I have the body of an intellect, you know? So anyway, but I do enjoy golfing.
I noticed as I got older, I used to, you know, like all the young guys on the res play basketball, but after a while you can't play ball anymore. You got to do something that's a little bit slower paced. And,
yeah.
And I picked up golf and you know, get teased for it, you know, for doing that, but I enjoy it, and I haven't been able to do as much golf as I'd like to, but when I get out, I enjoy it.
There's nothing more pitiful than watching an old man play ball. Eh? That's pitiful. They have a limp. They got boobs. They bounce, you know, when they're trying to dribble. there's a bunch of things dribbling, like it's hard watching old man ball. So lucky you golfed, because I don't know if I could watch you play ball, man. Too many moving parts.
Well, I used to make fun of the old guys that would play, and I thought, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put myself up to that. But well, it's been really great having you on. I know that you're busy, and great favor of you to come on. It's been fun.
Yeah, and I just want to thank the people for checking us in. If you want to check me out, just follow me on Facebook. I'm pretty active on my Facebook. I don't TikTok. I don't do all that stuff, because TikTok, you only it's less than a minute. Eh? You got a minute less. And it takes me a little bit more than a minute. Some of you might be okay with just a minute, like this guy's act. Not me. I can go longer. So that's why I don't TikTok.
I know a couple days ago you put on something on Facebook about everybody wants the Indian rate. They want you to the Indian rate. When I'll let people know that you're worth every penny, whatever you're asking for.
That's right. Oh yeah, the Indian rate. Yeah. But they'll pay a non-native entertainer full price, right? Full price, a speaker, entertainer. But when they book a native, they want an Indian rate, and they said do it for PR. It's good PR. I'm like, I don't want PR. I want to get paid. Pay me like you're paying that white guy.
When I was practicing law, that used to happen to me. I get all these family members, all these natives. Give me the Indian rate. Give me the family rate. I said, you be paying that white attorney all kinds of money.
Yeah, it happens. It happens to us. Even if you're selling beaded earrings, whatever, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Indians will always lowball each other, and we do that. And that's why in many ways, we're in the same situation as we're. Like, you never see Jewish people do that, eh? You never see Jewish people lowball each other. You never see Asians do that.
I'm not gonna laugh at that, man.
Yeah, but anyway, my wallet is made from Jewish foreskin, so I got lots of money in there.
I was down in Phoenix right before Christmas, and we went into one of these native jewelry stores, and one of the ladies down there selling her jewelry, she was saying, "Well, it's for my grandma. My grandma makes these. I can only cut it by." I said, "If it's for your grandma, don't shortchange her. I'll pay full price. I'm happy. If it's for her, don't be taking money from your grandma. What does she charge? And I'll pay it." So I felt good being able to do that, because we get in this position of thinking we have to cut our rates, or we have to give somebody Indian. It's for family. Pay up.
Exactly. Like when I go to Gallup, New Mexico, I don't go into the stores. I go into that one restaurant, and the vendors walk around with their wares, and that's who I buy the stuff from. I never buy it from like Santa Fe, the stores there, or because they pay low ball price to the artist, and then they up their percentage, right? I'd rather go right to the artist and give them what they're asking. That's the most important thing, and it's just it's just the right thing to do. And we got to stop doing that to each other as for our people. We got to stop lowballing each other, undercutting each other, and stop seeing each other less than what we are. Like by doing that, by asking me to give you a rate, and by saying you're saying we don't value enough as much as we value that white comedian. So we want you to do it for half price. We're going to pay him full. And to me, that's just wrong, especially when it's coming from our people, right? So that's my whole point with it.
Well, is there any other sage words of advice you have for us in getting past this COVID?
Before you kiss her, okay? Remember, think of me. I might have been there. Take care, bro.
Thanks for coming up. Appreciate it. It's been fun.
Take care.
And we'll look forward to hearing from you again. Well, Kenny, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was definitely fun.
Well, we have anybody that's if you didn't listen today, it's your fault. That was pretty fun, wasn't it, Kenny?
I thought so.
Yeah. Anybody out there that has any questions or comments?
Not too much. Jokey was on, said hilarious, and John was wondering where Cindy was at and said boo.
Well, it's her fault. We had a good show today. That was fun.
Yeah, I thought that was, yeah, especially the comedy. I don't know. I got a lot of it. I'm guessing he really doesn't know who you are. So it was probably one of our racier shows, I think.
Well, as far as what's going on today, this is a very historic day. Deb Haaland was actually sworn in today as Secretary of the Interior. Great job for her, and very historic. And for a while there, I was wondering if she was going to get confirmed, Kenny, but it happened barely. But glad that it did. And you know what? I want to caution Indian country out there. If you're having any thoughts that she's going to come in and just clean house and be able to make things change immediately. A lot of things have happened over the years, and I think we need to be patient with her and recognize that it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, there's some good things that will happen. It's just that I don't think it's going to happen overnight and as fast as some people think that it may happen. So I would just caution everybody to give her an opportunity to get in there and do the best that she possibly can. And I know she will, but there's a lot of things that she won't be able to do that we would hope that she had the power to, but just doesn't. So I would, hopefully people will give her a little bit of time and recognize that she's under some different types of pressures now. So anyway, other than that, Kenny, I don't have anything else.
One more comment from Jeremy Johnson. It says, NASA confirmed Navajo names for Mars locations.
Navajo names for what?
For Mars locations on Mars.
Is that good or bad?
I would say maybe a good thing.
Well, I probably because there was a couple of those Navajo Dene engineers involved in that NASA, the engineering stuff for putting the rover up there. So maybe they gave them an opportunity to claim some land in Mars. You know what though? Government's just going to take it. They're gonna find water, oil. They're gonna find something up there. They're gonna take it back.
I think they found water up there, so
they're gonna remove that name. They're gonna,
they're gonna put the land in trust.
Yeah, we probably better sign a treaty, huh?
Sign a treaty.
We should sign papers saying that's Navajo land up there on Mars. Let's see what happens to it. But I ain't got anything else, Kenny. You have anything?
Yeah, no, I think that's about it. Just want to talk about upcoming guests.
Oh, yeah, very good. We have another sort of comedy type guest coming up. Should I tell them who it is? We haven't confirmed a date yet. We've got a confirmation that she wants to come on the show. We haven't firmed up a date yet. So should I just tell them?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
If she doesn't, then we'll say, oh, no, she watched our show and figured it wasn't worth her time. Tanya Jo Hall, Auntie Beatrice, is going to be on a future show. So that'll be another fun day. So if you haven't checked this show out, tell your friends. It was Don Burnstick. He was amazing and put on a show for us. So check out the show, and we'll see you next week.